So as hard as it is for me to say this, I have a son that is starting to look at colleges. He's a junior in high school, and we have just started making the 2-year, 4-year plan, and what his future is going to look like. And so we've talked a lot about where he wants to go to school and the types of communities that he might like to live in and what he'd like to study, just common things like that. And through those conversations, it has brought up our community and some of the challenges that we have here. And much like most small towns across America, we have a drug epidemic. And it's something that I have been praying for, and I know that you have been praying for, because it affects everyone, right? God, we need healing here. We just need you to move in this area and set these people free. And God gave me a revelation on that my community is not going to change until we step up and change the people, right? It's when we change the people one by one by one that those principalities can kind of fall and be broken. That only happens when we step out of our comfort zones and minister and set people free. And Marshall was telling me that he was contemplating law school. I was like, oh, really? Tell me a little bit about that. And he was, where he might like to go or whatever. And he said, well, Mom, what do you think? And he's starting to do a little bit in the ministry as well. And I said, well, son, it's my observation that law and ministry are not that different. That for you to be successful in either, you have to wake up every day and the injustice in the world needs to upset you to the point that you want to do something about it. That you can't sit on the sidelines and be complacent anymore. You have to get in the ring and try to bring justice to people. The hard part about ministry and about law is that you have to get to a place where you are willing to see justice served to people who look to be unjust. That sometimes justice has to come to bad people or people that you don't feel like deserve it. And if you can't get up every day and fight for the unjust of the world, then you mentally probably won't be well in those arenas, and you probably should consider a different profession. And God brought it like right up to my face just yesterday. Because I just had this conversation with my son. I was on a run with my friend, and we turned this corner, and there's a man who is clearly inebriated, and he is almost playing a lion tamer. He's half dressed, and he is taking his shirt, and he's yelling at nothing, and flicking his shirt at whatever this thing he could see, and yelling. And the Holy Spirit in me, the God in me, rose up and said, go set that man free. And immediately the flesh in me said, but what if he gets aggressive? And what if it doesn't work? And so I compromised, and I crossed the street and went on about my way. And he pierced my spirit. And he was like, okay. He said, what's more important to you, justice or your comfort? And I have to be honest, in that moment, my comfort was more important to me than seeking justice for that man who clearly needed my help. And so what he's teaching me is that we are never going to see a breakthrough, and we are never going to see change as long as we continue to compromise for our comfort. That we have to be obedient to the Spirit, man, even when we don't want to, even when it's uncomfortable, even when we think the recipient doesn't deserve it. We have to be obedient, because until we do, we're never going to see the manifestation, and we're never going to see breakthrough in our community.